Creating a legacy of generosity is one of the most powerful ways to impact future generations. It is about more than just passing down financial wealth. It is about instilling values that will guide the next generation in their relationship with money, purpose, and the world around them. The Bible speaks extensively about generosity, stewardship, and how we should handle our resources, and these principles can be applied to create a lasting legacy. If we want to ensure that the wealth we pass on to our children, grandchildren, and beyond is used wisely, it is important to approach this task with intention and wisdom. The first step in creating a legacy of generosity is to establish a mindset of stewardship. In the book of Psalms, we are reminded that the earth is the Lord's and everything in it, the world, and all who live in it. Psalm 24 verse 1. As stewards, we do not own our wealth, but we are entrusted with it by God to manage responsibly. This perspective helps us approach wealth not as something to hoard or accumulate for our own benefit, but as a tool to serve God's purposes. When we view money and resources in this way, it frees us from the traps of materialism, greed, and selfishness. A true legacy of generosity begins with recognizing that all we have belongs to God, and our role is to use it wisely and generously. One of the most important aspects of creating a legacy of generosity is teaching the next generation about money. It's not enough to simply pass on assets. We must also pass on financial wisdom. Proverbs 13 verse 22 says, "A good person leaves an inheritance for their children's children." This inheritance is not just about money, but about imparting wisdom on how to manage it. If we want our children to handle wealth wisely, we need to start by educating them early on about the value of money, the importance of saving, and the joy of giving. Teach them to distinguish between needs and wants, and the importance of being content with what they have. Equip them with the tools they need to manage money effectively, whether that's through budgeting, investing, or understanding the power of compound interest. When we train up our children with a solid understanding of how to manage money in a God-honoring way, we set them up for success and equip them to build a legacy of generosity of their own. In addition to teaching financial wisdom, modeling generosity is one of the most powerful ways to leave a lasting impact on future generations. Children often learn more from what we do than from what we say. When they see us giving sacrificially, whether it's our time, money, or resources, they learn the value of generosity. The Bible teaches us that God loves a cheerful giver. 2 Corinthians 9 verse 7. Generosity is not just about the amount we give, but about the heart behind it. When we give with a joyful heart, we reflect God's love and compassion, and we teach our children to do the same. Whether it's giving to those in need, supporting charitable causes, or investing in our communities, our actions speak louder than words. If we want to create a legacy of generosity, we must first live it out in our daily lives, setting an example for the next generation. Another critical aspect of creating a legacy of generosity is planning for the future. Proverbs 21 verse 5 says, "The plans of the diligent lead to profit as surely as haste leads to poverty." If we want our legacy of generosity to endure, we must plan wisely and thoughtfully. This includes making decisions about how our wealth will be distributed when we are gone. Consider creating a will or trust that reflects your values and ensures that your assets are used in ways that align with your faith. This may include setting aside funds for ministry work, supporting charities you care about, or ensuring that your children are well-equipped to manage their inheritance wisely. By planning ahead, we can avoid leaving our heirs in a position where they squander the wealth we've worked hard to build. Instead, we can set them up to continue the legacy of generosity that we've started. We should also encourage our children and loved ones to give generously while they're young, helping them develop a habit of giving. The Bible teaches that generosity is a virtue to be cultivated, not just a one-time action. In 2 Corinthians 9 verses 6 to 7, Paul reminds us, "Whoever sows sparingly will also reap sparingly, and whoever sows generously will also reap generously. Each of you should give what you have decided in your heart to give, not reluctantly or under compulsion, for God loves a cheerful giver." Encouraging a lifestyle of giving, even from a young age, helps children develop a generous spirit that lasts a lifetime. Giving isn't just about the amount, it's about the attitude of the heart. When we model this attitude and encourage it in our children, we help them understand that true wealth is not measured by what we accumulate, but by what we give away. Another key component in creating a lasting legacy of generosity is ensuring that we have the proper priorities in place. Jesus tells us in Matthew 6 verse 33, "But seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well." When we prioritize God's kingdom above our own desires, everything else falls into place. This includes our finances. Generosity becomes easier when we put God first in every area of our lives, including our money. It's important to remember that our wealth and resources are temporary. They are tools to be used for God's eternal purposes. When we invest in things that have eternal value, such as helping others come to know Christ, supporting ministries, or building up the church, we are building a legacy that lasts beyond our lifetime. This mindset shifts our focus from accumulating wealth for ourselves to using it for the advancement of God's kingdom. Creating a legacy of generosity also involves being intentional about giving to others. In the Bible, we are reminded that there will always be opportunities to give to those in need. In Deuteronomy 15 verse 11, God says, "There will always be poor people in the land. Therefore, I command you to be open-handed toward your fellow Israelites who are poor and needy in your land." Generosity is not just about giving to those who are close to us. It's about reaching out to those who are less fortunate, both near and far. As we make a habit of giving to the poor, supporting missions, and serving others, we show our children that true wealth is not in what we keep, but in what we give. Lastly, a legacy of generosity is rooted in prayer. As we seek to live generous lives, we must pray for God's guidance, wisdom, and provision. Ask God to help you steward your wealth well and to give you opportunities to bless others. Pray that your children will follow your example and that their hearts will be open to giving. Ask God to help you remain humble and content, recognizing that all that we have is a gift from Him. Creating a legacy of generosity is about more than just financial wealth. It's about building a life that reflects God's love, His provision, and His call to bless others. It's about passing on values, wisdom, and habits that will last long after we're gone. By living as good stewards, teaching financial wisdom, modeling generosity, planning for the future, and prioritizing God's kingdom, we can create a legacy that impacts future generations for years to come. If this message has inspired you to think about creating a legacy of generosity, we encourage you to subscribe to Wealth Without Limits. We'll continue to share biblical wisdom and practical advice on how to manage your finances, live with purpose, and leave a lasting legacy for those who come after you. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Thank you for joining us, and may God bless you as you build a legacy of generosity for future generations.